So there's this rock band called The Strokes, who I really like, and one of their albums is called First Impressions of Earth. It's not their best, but I like the name. When I think of that, I envision this. That's right, today I'm going to be showing you guys a concept mock for The Strokes' 2006 First Impressions of Earth album. The first thing you may notice is the trees, but I'm going to start with the edges of the mock and work my way up. So you can see I use this smooth black border that's attached to the base using a snot technique, and it uses slopes at the corners for extra smoothness. On one corner there's this really very large rock that I also built using a snot technique. By the way, if you don't know what snot means, it stands for studs not on top. The rock uses a bunch of cheese wedges, slopes, and some tiles, including some exposed studs for extra texture. You can see that the rock actually spills out from the border, which I think looks really cool, and it adds some dimension to the edge. The terrain is mostly dark green with the exception of a dark tint path, which I think blends in really well with its surroundings. The terrain has some nice texturing with slopes, cheese wedges, and a few tiles. The path also has a bunch of that stuff. I did include an absolute overload of plants of different kinds where I stacked some grass elements, placed a bunch of leaves on green stems, which also look really cool. I also included some stacked leaf elements and a stick element, which kind of looks like bamboo. So yeah, there's a whole lot of plants of different kinds, which accomplishes the overgrown feel I was going for. Let's talk about trees. To make the trunk, I used a technique by the incredible Dan the Fan.
And I love trees.
Where you basically use these curvy tube pieces as a sort of backbone, and you stack these tire elements onto each other. See how smart Dan is? For the leaves, I used the basic yellow and red leaf elements, which I had to steal from the treehouse, that is now in spring mode. I really like how the trunk and leaves contrast, and the leaves really pop in color, giving the whole build that spark. I did have to build little bases for each tree in order to stabilize them, since tires are pretty heavy. The last thing I want to talk about is that large object at the back of the mock. That is a space pod, and the minifig standing there has just come out of said space pod. The idea is that since the album is called First Impressions of Earth, humans have just discovered it, and so this lady has just arrived on the pod. The pod is basically built in two halves that are connected through the corners, placed using snot techniques. I wanted to have studs on both the top and the bottom of it, so I had to use snot to attach them, and you can see that the front and back have little windows, and for the walls I used a mixture of plates, headlight bricks, modified bricks, and cheese wedges to accomplish a very worn and rugged feel. On one side there's also a little steering wheel to represent the hatch. Anyways, that was the video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe with notifications on, and join the Discord server, hosted by Tallest Grain and I, where you can pretty much do anything, the link to which will be in the description. It's been real, and I'll see you in the next one.